Yeah. This song doesn't need an intro.
Wow, that was weird.
Hey everyone, this is AJ Hansen with Level Up Your Guitar, where I teach cool songs organized into level-based playlists that make you better fast. If you're new here, hit subscribe. I drop fresh lessons every week. Tab sheet music is in the description, transcribed by yours truly. When you want private lessons, scan the QR code or check the link below. Alright, so with Wicked Game, I like teaching this song primarily as a bar chord song. And I also noticed this week that my Tennessee Whiskey video is taking off, so let's do another B minor bar chord one. And this would be the other one I would recommend for, later beginners and early intermediate guitarists. If you're getting into bar chords, this is a great one for learning the B minor bar chord. So let's jump into it. We'll start with the verse and the chorus. We'll probably wrap that up in like 3-4 minutes, and then we'll tackle the iconic intro guitar solo. So let me demonstrate this. Alright, so with the verse and the chorus, we've got our B minor bar chord. So you want your index finger barred across starting from the A string 2nd fret all the way down to the E string 2nd fret. And keep that fingertip as low as possible. Make sure you got a little rotation in your finger. So if my fingernail is pointing at 12 o'clock, just rotate it as you look down at your finger to about 10 or 11 o'clock. Then you'll put your middle finger on the B string 3rd fret, ring finger on the D string 4th fret, and pinky underneath that on the G string 4th fret. Now the rhythm is interesting because we've got a 1, 2, and. So this is very syncopated, where we have most of what we're playing on the ands. So that'll go down, down, up, 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 down, down, up, up, up. So once you're done with the first measure with B minor, we go into the A major chord, and I would recommend playing the way it says at the top of the sheet music with just the index finger also barring, but it's a special bar where we start with the A string open and then index barring down the D string, G string, and B string all on the 2nd fret, and then the E string open. To get that E string open, you can see my index finger isn't flat like a normal bar chord, but we've got this nice little, kind of looks like a mountain peak here. That's how you get that A major to ring out that way and bar it. So we've got the B minor to A. So there's the first 2 measures. If you don't like playing the A major as a bar chord and you want to use fingertips, that's totally okay. Let me show you how I would recommend that. So we're coming out of the B minor chord. And I would actually, instead of using fingers 1, 2, 3, I would go for the middle ring and pinky, because you can see the ring and the pinky are already stacked and they're just going down. You can see they're creating the same shape, and then that middle finger just goes up above them. But it also makes a nice smooth transition into E major. So now our middle and ring are stacked above each other, and you get into E major. So that's if you don't like doing this bar, or if it's not working out for you yet, do it this way. So after the B minor and A major chord, we get into the E major chord. So that'll be the E string open, middle finger on the A string 2nd fret, ring finger underneath that on the D string 2nd fret, index finger G string 1st fret, and then open for the B and E strings. You probably already know that chord. But for those of you that don't, there it is. And we just maintain the same rhythm, and we'll do it for 2 full measures, measures 3 and 4. One more time. So let me demonstrate this verse and chorus section. I'll repeat it 2 times. And 1 time slowly. All right, so now we're getting into the intro. With this part, to play it like the studio recording, you will need a whammy bar. This thing right here. We've got the whammy bar, so I'll teach it that way, the way it was recorded. And when I transcribed the sheet music, I watched a few live versions so I could figure out exactly how it was going about. So this should be, if not the most accurate, no, I'll brag, it's the most accurate sheet music you'll find online. For those of you that might be playing this on an electric guitar without a whammy bar, or on an acoustic guitar and you still want to play it and get it close, I'll have another sheet and we'll go over that at the very end of this. There's really only a 4-note difference, and then the rest is all the same. So stick with me through this portion for all you whammy bar players, and then we'll tackle the little bit we got to change for those of you that don't have that. So let's jump in. Let me demonstrate the beginning. So for the intro, we're starting with the B string open, and as soon as you play that, you want to be holding onto your whammy bar right away. So let me switch angles here. So you'll play that B string, and then you'll start dipping the bar down very gently. And once you dip that open B string to the pitch that you want, you'll play ideally with the ring finger on the B string 7th fret. So again, you're going bow, bow. So you don't just let go of the bar where it just springs back up. You got to guide it back up so you get that nice slide back into the 7th fret F sharp note, if you need to know the note name. So when you guide the whammy bar back up to this with the 7th fret note, you're going to hang on to that for quite a while. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beats. And then on the next measure, beat 4, you'll play that same F sharp note with the ring finger, and then it's a slide from above. So you just let that note fall off until you get to about the 2nd or 1st fret, and then you can play the B string open. So you can hear that note. It's not a laser beam. So listen carefully to the phrasing there. So again, we've got that 7 sliding down to 0, and then that 0 on the B string is going to be held for 7 total beats, so you got a whole note tied to a dotted half note, and that just about finishes up the first line of the sheet music, and then you start over again with the open B string, and you're going to dip the whammy bar down and then guide it back up when you play the 7th fret again. Just like that. So I'll start at the very beginning and go up to that point, so into measure 7. So to finish measure 7, now we've got this 5-3-2 open, so you'll start with the B string with the pinky in fret 5, middle finger on fret 3, index finger on fret 2, and then back to open. So these are quarter note triplets. So once you hit that B note, it's a half note tied into an eighth note. So it's 1 and 2 and 3. So we got triplet, 1 and 2 and 3. So let's finish up the second line of this intro. So we've got on the and beat 3 a slide from below with the ring finger on the D string, and we're just going to slide into the 4th fret. And then I usually use an up pick.
What, like it's hard?
And I usually use an up pick on the G string 2nd fret after that. And then down pick again on the 4th fret. And then we go to an E major triad. And you can play with that with the middle and index on the D string and G string. So let me start from the quarter note triplets in measure 7. Then one slowly. And then once from the very beginning. So I'll play the first 2 lines all the way through. All right, so that's line 1 and 2 of the intro. Now we'll do the 3rd line, and this section is going to repeat twice. So let's check this out. All right, so in the beginning of this 3rd line of the intro, we're still thinking of a B minor chord, but with this one, we can take our B minor bar chord and just unbar it, so our index finger is only on the high E string 2nd fret. So now that you know that, I'll just demonstrate this through with the repeats, and then we'll break it down. I made a decision while I was messing up talking about this video. Let's go out of order on this. I remember the last time I taught this, this is how I went through it with a student, and it helped them get through it much, much faster. So we're going to start at measure 4, measure 3, parts of measure 2, and then finish with measure 1. So in measure 4, we're going to take our middle finger on the G string 2nd fret, and we're going to grace note slide to the 4th fret, and we're going to play the B string open at the same time. So it'll look like this. So with that grace note slide, it's an instantaneous slide. So you don't want to hear, you want, it's just instantaneous. So, and that being a whole note, you just hold it for 4 beats. Well, that's one measure done. We're 25% there. So let's head back just one beat into beat 4 of the third measure. So index finger on the index. What did I just say?
What did you say?
All right, index finger on the G string 1st fret, and we're going to hammer on with the middle finger, 2nd fret. And then go into our grace note slide. All right, let's start at the beginning of measure 3. So now we've got our index already queued up on the G string 1st fret, and we'll hold that for 3 beats. So we've got the easy work done. Now it's going to get a little bit busier, but at least this way, and this is why I like doing this, with anything that's tricky, start at the end and work your way backwards as you play it forwards each time. That way you're always playing towards something you know better, gaining confidence instead of losing it. Measure 2, we're going to start with the index finger on the G string 2nd fret, and this is on the and of beat 3. So we've got the 2, and then the 0 after that, which is the last note of the measure. So we got. Once you got that down, now we'll start at the very beginning of measure 2. And what you'll do is, and you'll see this in measure 1 when we get there, but you want your ring finger on the D string 4th fret, and then pinky underneath that on the G string 4th fret. So have those set up because the ring finger happens earlier, so we're already just setting up for that. And now what we'll do, we're going to get into a little bit more picking detail. So with this intro, you're going to be doing a lot of up picking. So we'll start on beat 1, up pick on the open string, open B string, down pick on the G string, up pick on the high E, down pick on the B string. And now finally, in measure 1, we can start, I think, right at the very beginning. So we already had our ring and pinky here for measure 2, so now we're just adding the rest of our B minor shape. So middle finger on the B string 3rd fret, index on the E string 2nd fret. So beat 1 is a rest, so we're starting on the and of beat 1, and we'll do 2 up picks on the E and the B strings. And then a down pick on the D string. Up, up, down. Then we'll add the next note, so all you have to do is take the index finger off the high E, so now it's open. So again, we've got up, up, down, up on the open string. Then up again on the B string, down on the D string. So now we've got the first 6 notes. And then from there, you're going to put your index finger on the B string 2nd fret and then peel away your middle finger. One more time, slowly. All right, so now let's take it all the way from the beginning to the end. So again, rest on beat 1, and then we're off to it. 2, 3, 4, 1. And then one slowly. 3, 4, 1. So that's the entire intro. So that third line that we just covered that follows the B minor chord, watch out for all the up picks, and then just pay attention to, especially at the beginning, you're just peeling more fingers off of this B minor chord until it becomes a lot of open strings, and then you're in the 1st fret, 2nd fret, stuff like that. But wait, there's more. Actually, I almost forgot. So for those of you that don't have whammy bars or playing on acoustic guitars, let me show you how to do this without a whammy bar. So the only thing that changes are the very first 2 notes of the first line of the intro and the last note going in, the last note of the first line into the first note of the second line. It's the same thing. So you're really only changing 2 notes. It's just you do it twice. So what changed is now we're on the G string 3rd fret, and you can see instead of a whammy bar dip, we're going to do a pre-bend. So you can see with the notation of the pre-bend, our bend shape isn't the normal bend where it kind of looks like a plane taking off. This more looks like a rocket shooting straight up and then landing back down to earth. So a pre-bend is where you have the note bent first, and then you pick it, and then you drag the note back down. So you don't want to just pre-bend it, play it, and then stop. Generally with pre-bends, you bring them back down. They kind of almost sound like a seagull or a whale song.
Admiral, there be whales here.
What I would recommend is play that G string 3rd fret with your middle finger, and then support the bend with your index finger. Bend it up half a step. So you can see as soon as I brought that note back down to its neutral state, my index finger kicked out to the E string 2nd fret. And then I would take my ring finger and play the 7. Just like before. So not changing that, just the first 2 notes. So again with the pre-bend. So again, and make sure that as soon as you play the 2nd fret note, you're not also holding that 3 on the G string. You don't want that to ring out together. And then it does it again, and then we go back into the 5-3-2, and then it's all the same. So again, you're only changing a 0-7 to a 3-2. That's the only thing that happens to make it different, to accommodate anyone who might be doing this again on acoustic, or if you have a Les Paul with no whammy bar or whatever with no whammy bar. And there you have it. Wicked Game by Chris Isaak. If this helped you level up, hit the like button and subscribe for more songs with practical techniques that make you better fast. Sheet music is in the description, both the Whammy Bar version and the non-Whammy Bar alternative. And when you want personalized guidance, check out the private lesson link below. And when you want more bar chord songs to master, check out the playlist here. Keep playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson. So it's kind of like you have this anticipation. Connery. Yes.